G'day and welcome to another episode. My name is Daethstro, the Aussie Geek, and today we will be combining our Power of the Primes Terracons into Abominus. Now, first off, we're going to do it into the proper configuration, the G1 configuration, not Scrambled City, which I don't remember him actually showing up in, but basically how you can roughly see him here at the moment. I was considering retransforming all these guys in this episode, but I thought, you know what? I've already done it 5 times already, so I think we will leave that. So I haven't put any of the accessories or anything on yet, so let's get into it. So first off, we're going to take Center Twin, and we're going to take one of the legs or the feet and plug that in there, and we're going to find his extra little bit and plug that into there. So that's one foot done. We will grab Cutthroat and plug that into there. And put his back here for added stability, like so. Then we will take Hunger. I'm probably going to have to move the camera in a second, but slide that into place there. And slide that into place there. Put the camera up a bit. Might even have to pull him back a little bit. I don't know why everything seems so bright right now. Alright, then we're going to take Ripper Snapper, and I have already taken his extra thumb off. Plug into here, and I'm putting it this way just because it looks a bit better that way. Get that in the groove and slide that down till it can't slide down no further. And then we take Blot's. Now, Blot has a slight alteration on him. You'll notice he has Center Twin's gun. I usually put this on here just to sort of counter Ripper Snapper's guns. I've also got Ripper Snapper's mouth open. As for Cutthroat's gun, I basically just put that aside. So you can plug that into there and plug this up here. Slide that all the way in. It doesn't really clip in, it just sort of slides there. And there is Abominus in his unfocused combine mode. Now, I will start off by saying he is great as a static figure. It's articulation where everything goes out the window. And I won't lie, it's the feet with the added hands that help with this guy's stability. So let's get down to articulation the best we can. His head can do a full 360. It doesn't look up, doesn't look down. Antennas move due to transformation. Arms can do a full 360, although things start unpegging, unfortunately. Arms come out that far on both sides due to the big old gap here, which is helpful. We have bicep rotation, as we've said before, which is below the hip. You, of course, can get that far with the arm if you want that way, but if you rotate the hips the other way, you get even more, but you do lose those details. You have wrist rotation, you have ball peg of the thumb in and out and around as you see fit, and 4 fingers all the same, and Blot's side is identical. He doesn't have a waist swivel because Hunger doesn't have one. Legs go out that far and droop. Go back that far. And that will be something I'm going to come back to. That holds. Legs come out that far and flop back in. He has upper thigh rotation. There's no rotation at the knee. Knee gets you that far, and you may have to untab this if you want to get it further. So let's give that a try since we're here to get that all the way up. And yeah, so you're not really getting aim further than that. All right, so ankle rotation, ankle tilt, I can probably get it further. Although I'm going to need to take his foot off. No, that's as far as that's going. And of course, ankle tilt that way. There's no up or down. And I think I've partly started untransforming Cutthroat's lower legs. Just use gravity to hold him. So there we go. Like I said, he does stand very, very, very well statically. The problem is when you start trying to get his legs sort of, they don't. He won't A stand very well. His A stance is very, very wide. Ooh, I'm surprised that's standing. So yeah, you can do that, but if I start giving him a little bit more weight, he's going to topple over. I have tried. Believe me, I have tried. And it's one of two things that I've come to the conclusion of. Either the ratchets are back to front, which I don't think so, or the ratchets are piss weak. Which is weird to say because as you saw before, I know why he's been a bit wiggly. Now I'm transforming Cutthroat. Try to do it without breaking his combiner joint. Give me 1 second. Okay, I think I've got it. Using those joints was a little bit wonky. If you want a little bit more stability, you could always flare his feet out a bit. But honestly, the biggest problem is his hips. And they're Hungar's arms, which is weird. But basically, the ratchets in here are not tight enough. And I have tried so many different techniques to try and get him to be, for his hips to be stronger. I have put eraser heads in the joints. I have tried putting staples in the joints. I have popped his arms out so many times. I'm surprised I haven't done worse things to him. I did see a video a long while back, which apologies to the guy who posted it. I wish you'd refilmed it because you filmed it upside down and it's very, very hard to watch. But I'm pretty sure most of us use that video as some sort of guideline to get anywhere. And unfortunately, I can't figure out any legitimate way apart from getting an teeny weeny tiny jack to actually put into the ratchet to push it further. And basically, what have I got? So, how to put it? So basically, you have your ratchet here, and you have a point, which is what sits in the groove, sort of thing, and that's what ratchets it, right? That pin has a gap of about that much behind it. And if you could stretch it out a bit more, you could probably get it into that gap and make that stronger. But I have tried different methods. I'm sure someone's found a perfected way to do it, but I cannot do it. And unfortunately, it does hinder the upgrade kits, but that has its own problems. So before we get into that, let's at least do some size comparisons. Where are we? We'll do MP10. So he's just a bit bigger than MP10, and my camera's a little bit angled. Here he is with Combiner Wars Devastator with only the minimal upgrade replacements for him. If you want to see that video, I will link that as well. And last but not least, and I don't know why this guy's been giving me trouble recently, I don't know why, but here he is with, and I might have to stand up to put him in place. here he is with the Titan class Scorponok. So, as you can see, he's tiny compared to Scorponok, which honestly, apart from Predaking and Devastator, that's what your combiners looked like, or your combiner size was for those figures, honestly. I want to say the new Menasor was different, but I don't have that one, so I can't exactly size comparison that, unfortunately. So, there we go. And we'll put, whoops, I just pinched my thumb in his hip. I got boxes behind me, and they're in the way. All right, so upgrade kit time. And like I said, his hips and its own issues have its own problems. But I do have to say, off the bat, I do have to declare, I partly ruined this upgrade kit. Long before I knew the effectiveness of nail polish, I tried glue. And while it does solidify some of its problems, nail polish would have been better off. So the upgrade kit is the Dream Wave upgrade kit. So you get all these goodies, which are currently sitting next to me. And of course we have the instructions and everything, how to put them on. But you can use them as individual weapons. And see how we go here. So for example, you can fold this down and there's a handle there. So you got missile launchers there. You have this piece, which that's a handle too. Oops, and I just popped that all off. Now I got to figure out how to get it back on again. It's almost as bad as, what was it? Was it the Devastator? Yeah, the Devastator, I think it was the Devastator, the hands were all wonky. Now I can't figure out how to get that back on. I don't know why that looks like it's been a bit murked. Oh well, we'll just press that back in place and leave that where it is. We have the shield, which this is the one thing that I was really looking forward to this with it. It has a handle down here. And there's a handle down here. So you can apparently separate this. Oh, there's a pin there. I think it's more you fold it up and somehow handle like that. Now, this sticker did not come with it, and it does come with an alternative side pieces, which are these, if you want sort of a more angled look. I've heard nothing but horror stories of people trying to get them off. So sorry to say, but we will not be putting those on. We have the hands, which got the glue treatment in the wrist because these wrists were super duper weak. They do transform. You flip these out. You press all these together. Bring the thumb down in the middle. And this would come down originally, and then you could use it as a gun. I use it as hands, so the fact that that was all super duper loose didn't help me much at all. And of course, we have two of those, and they're fully articulated, even though part of it is glued. We have this piece, which is the opposite shoulder. It's the same thing. Pull that down. You now have a missile launcher. We have these hip pieces, which don't do anything. They're hip pieces. We do have, and these are glued in place for a good reason. We do have alternative lower legs. You can take these off. I didn't glue them in place, and apparently, and I didn't look at this, you can then take them both somehow. And what was it? You take something else and you peg it together, and that gives you, oh, that's what it is. I think it just sits in their hands. Where are we? They use cutthroat as an example. So the shield can separate, which I refuse to do just in case I break it. Where is it? I think it just basically, that's what it is. Yeah, it just basically plugs into their hands. So top and bottom, plug them together. For these pieces, you just plug them in the holes. And that sort of, you plug them in the hole. Why are you not lining up? There we go. Now, I don't know if you can still even get this upgrade kit. Also, these are really sharp. So just beware of that. You do have, of course, the inner thighs. Do not glue these into place if you ever plan on pulling this stuff off. You do have the feet, which got the glue treatment, but partly I was able to actually get it separated, although I cannot get that hinge working, that ankle tilt working anymore. So you basically, with the best of effort, fold that out. And that comes off, and then, of course, you would use that to hold it or whatnot. I suppose you could fold it back in itself. Oh yeah, kinda, sorta, if you wanna. You can take the foot off, and you can rotate the toe, and then you have peg here. And then I think you're supposed to take this piece and plug that into there, so you have that. And you can also, if I can figure out how to do this properly, unplug this one. Might actually be still glued in place, but you can unplug all these and you have additional guns. Personally, in my opinion, if you get this set, nail polish it all, get it as tight as humanly possible, because by God, you're going to need as much of the friction as possible. So there we go. And of course you get 2 feet. That just goes, that goes into there. And then the idea is that these go over to these pieces, as well as go behind here. Best you can. And I might actually nail polish that again afterwards. Just try to sort of straighten things up and whatnot, best you can. So there we go. And then of course we have 2 of those. We do have an alternative face, which is this one. So if you want a very similar one to what's the actual prime figure come with, going to get that focused, there's that. Or you have this piece, which is basically him screaming his head off, which is the one I usually use. So there we go. Now, to get this guy all upgraded, figured I'd get the focus back before I got anywhere. All right, so to combine these guys, again, I find it so much easier to do this untransformed. So we'll push all this to the side, and we will go step by step. We do have to, however, do a little modifying. So for starters, we'll take his limbs off and try to get Cutthroat off without his beak flying somewhere, like so. All right, so let's start with Hunger, because we actually have to modify him. We're going to have to take his head off, because the replacement head, as you can see here, if I can get my screwdriver out of the way, is going to sit a whole hell of a lot higher, because the chest, beg my pardon, is going to sit a hell of a lot higher. So if I bring the chest in, I think I actually unplugged that somehow. So the chest basically is going to sit up here. And as you can see, he's not seeing anything. So we're going to have to modify his head. Now, his head is glued together along with screwed. So if you do this, you will probably have to break the glue. I'm not 100% sure of any specific way to do that. So find your own methods best you can. And as you can see, mine's already been done. There's actually a tab that would go into here. I've broken that. Also, I lost the screw when I was putting this guy back together. So just for the laugh, that's from the tumbler. It fit. So I'm just going to put that back in there so I can just keep his head together. And that will go back into storage. Now you don't need to screw anything onto here. The head will just slide into place, although he is really loosey-goosey. And I'll do this while I'm at it, because I might actually change his face. You pull down, you pull forward. So there's a little slide, and I think Blot's messing with my focus. There we go. So it's basically slipping into here. So all you do is try your best, get it between, or get it in there. I'm not doing a very good showing it because it's very awkward. So do your best to get it in there, and then sort of push it. I've never actually used this face before, which I'm now thinking is funny. I don't know if I'm going to be able to even get it in there. Get in there. Try going from this angle. That sort of worked. Kinda. Sorta. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it. It's now just a matter of getting that pushed into place. Did I get it? I think I got it. Maybe. Possibly. Anyway, so there you go. And I just basically detached his neck again. So you could probably get in here and somehow nail polish that up to give it a bit more stability. This was supposed to be able to transform with hunger, so you wouldn't have to. But I glued the antennas in place because they were giving me trouble too. I was so young, learning so much crap. All right, so we're going to need to also retransform this. So we're going to fold these down, and we're going to bring this down. We're going to unplug that because this is going to come to the back. So those are now no longer at all part of the sides. And we're going to bring this down, if I remember correctly, because it doesn't really have anywhere else to go either. And we're just going to bring that back a little bit because we're going to need a bit of clearance for the back. All right, so we want, and I just realized there was something I didn't get into. All right, so we might as well do this piece. Actually, we'll do the sides first. So these are your new combiner arm ports, and this piece is going to go over here. Just the best it can. And you take the other one, and that goes on the other side. And then to keep them in place, just grip, take this piece, and you have these two ports here. Probably do it this way, makes it a little bit more appealing. And just try your best to line those up, and that's just going to go over the back, like so. And there we go. We have our backpack in place. These can now come up and just sit how you want. And then you can push these up if you want. But basically those legs are going nowhere. Then we bring in our chest piece. Now these two ports are going to go into these two tabs. And this is going to sort of slip under here. So if you've got all this in place, whoops, and I just pushed those legs too hard when I was just making sure things were where they were supposed to be. You want to slide this in, line them up the best you can, and try your best to tab it in, because it does tab very, very securely. So do not worry about if you think it's going to be not very secure. So there we go. Like I said, if you have this with the original head, you are not looking over the top of the shield. All right. Next, we're going to take these pieces. Now, like I said, these are already glued. This port here, oops, that can go up. You probably actually, yeah, I think you can actually put it back underneath. Kinda. I'd probably prefer just putting it, just sitting up against the legs, like so. All right, so you have this port here is going to go onto here. So just slide that on. Like I said, this is 3 different pieces. I've glued these 2 together, and those are not. And then just plug this on the other side. And now I'm going to just give me a little bit more clearance. Fold those up there. And I've just unlocked this joint here. Here we go. Now, a little bit of further honesty. Using the proper configuration is a problem. So if you are a person who prefers someone other than Cutthroat as a leg, you'll like this next part. If you like Cutthroat as your leg, you could have a bit of a problem in a second. So we'll start with Center Twin. Take that. We haven't got any use for any of that. Now, I do know that this peg, and I have not trimmed it away or anything, does have a bit of push in there. So you may have to really force it and or scrape it out. So at least Cutthroat Center Twin has a bit more room. And I think I've got the wrong leg on. I think I managed to glue it slightly in an angle and in a tilt. So I originally thought I hadn't. But honestly, if I'd known what I knew now, I would have used nail polish. And you can actually see the seam starting to split there. And done something better with that ankle tilt because I can't move it at all now. All right, so we take Cutthroat and we get rid of that. And we plug this in. I think Cutthroat was one of the ones that I actually didn't have too much trouble with getting tabbed in, like so. So I do have a slight bit of ankle. I don't know how I did that. And I can't really move it because it's glued. So I'm probably going to have a little bit of trouble with this myself regardless. We do want to take, and we'll do this while we're thinking of it. You take these pieces, and they're going to go on the outside. So you just want the gray bit out, and just plug that in there best you can. Like I said, if you glue these pieces in after you put these on, you're going to have to break it to get it back out again. All right. I just realized what I'd done. All right, so I'll take this piece off first. I'm going to slide Center Twin back in. And then we can take this piece and plug that back in, which is fine. That's fine. Now we unplug this piece, and I've just unplugged the other one. This is going to be a lot of fiddliness, a lot of trying to just, it wants to escape on me. Slide this on, and this is fine. This is fine. Oop. Until you try to put the head on. You will notice because of his neck plate, it won't sit flat. So if you want to use Cutthroat like I do, you need to actually bend it slightly to get it in, and then hope that balance and gravity and a little bit of fiddling from Ripper Snapper and Blot will actually help. Just stay. All right, so we will take Blot next. Oh, we're not quite finished yet. You have these pieces which I mentioned before. That just slides there. That slides there, and you might think, oh, that'll give it a bit of stability. Nah, not happening. All right, so we get rid of Blot's original hand, And we give him his new hand. You can flip. You would have originally been able to, I think, flip the fingers around, but not so much anymore. And as you can see, there's a whole bunch of gunk there because I really had to mess with Blot's combiner port to get it to work properly. Now, and you can't see any of that, sorry. So you're going to be using these. And I won't alter the camera just yet, just because I want to try and get him stable before I do anything. Just bring it out one, slide that into place. Straight down, it's rather tight, but that'll work. And there we go. All right. And then, of course, we have Ripper Snapper. Take off his hand, give him his new one. Just pop that one and slide that down. You may have to move the chest pieces out of the way. And there is Abominus in his upgrade kit, which, like I said, I kind of ruined. Stay. Those butterfly joints that it gives you, basically use that for your added balance. So there we go. You will not be using this for dynamic posing. Trust me, you will just make life an absolute mess for yourself. And the one upgrade piece I didn't show you, which I wouldn't use for this either because it's too heavy. Well, the piece isn't too heavy, but it's just going to throw off the whole balance, is his gun. Oh, no, it was just really wonky just then. It does have splittable features. If I can remember how it works. Trying to remember how it slides together. There we go. So that slides out sideways, not the way I did it. I'm sure this had like 4 pieces. Ugh. Here, gun. Where are you? 1, 2. Yeah, it does. I wonder. I think part of the gun has fallen into the... Yep. Where the hell did that go? Really? Apparently I left that piece in the accessory kit. My accessory container, which is right here. So yeah. So you have now 3 guns. 1 handle there, 1 handle there, and 1 handle there. So that just slides into the groove. I can never remember how that works. Then you take this piece, you slide that in, and there is the gun that should have come with Abominus and didn't. So wish me luck doing this. Yeah. So you can, there's a port here. Look at these fingers how you prefer, and slide that in. He doesn't actually really grip it with his fingers. He just grips it with the port. But yeah, you're gonna you will have to mess with everyone's balance to actually get the gun up. So bring the camera up a little bit more again. So he will hold it. But whether you want him, if you would want the actual nightmare of doing so, is up to you. I did have a drink. So there you go. He does look good, right? Off the bat. Full, whatever the word is, absolute honesty. he does look good with the upgrade kit. However, his own issues, and along with my own once upon a time lack of experience in how to fix figures at the time, have literally made it so that this figure is nothing more than a static piece on the shelf. Yes, you can probably get a bit more articulation out of him with the I think I got him with the original feet. Actually, I was going to say you could probably use the original feet on it, but then I think he's got, because of how bulked out this gives him, it is going to make him seem like he has tiny feet. So there's the original foot. So I think it would make it stable, but at the same time, I think it would make it look really, really, really bizarre. So there we go. So final size comparison before we finish this. Good God help me. There he is with MP10. Very badly comparison. Try that again. That's better. So there he is with MP10. He has grown a couple of inches, but not, probably about, 2-3 inches. A little bit more on the head, a little bit more on the feet. Because legs didn't give us much of anything. It's really just the top of the antennas and his thicker feet. Here he is with Daethstro. Just trying to find the best way to grab him while I'm sitting down. So there he is with Combiner Wars Daethstro. And I'm going to have to really raise the camera for this, and hopefully I don't accidentally pull it out of the tripod. That just defocused everything. And here he is with Titan's Return, Titan Class, Scorponok. I'll probably do a little bit better job that one. We'll bring the camera back a bit, I think. So there you go, there he is, next to Scorponok. I'll bring the camera down a little bit. So with the little added bonus, he's just up to his hip. So there we go. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like this video, give me a thumbs down. I promise you it will not hurt my feelings. Subscribe, ring that bell, leave me a comment, and thanks for watching. I'll catch you later.